Teamwork for me is about a group of individuals coming together as a collective with an objective to get something done. And a big part of that is being able to bring different diverse skill sets together, whether it's creatives, whether it's data technologists, whether it's commerce specialists. All of these things make up a multifaceted dimensional team that help us get the best outcome for our clients.
Teamwork drives our world forward, but differences, communications barriers, and ineffective work environments can make teamwork hard. So how does one of the world's foremost digital and creative agencies succeed? Today we're going to see the principles of teamwork in action at Wunderman Thompson and find out how diverse teams drive results for their customers. I traveled to Manhattan to meet Courtney Gillis, where we talked about her role in helping orchestrate the teamwork across one of their largest accounts.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Alex.
Lovely to see you.
Lovely to see you.
Can't believe you get to come through here every single day.
It's amazing.
So, we're headed to the offices. Tell me a little bit about your specific role at WPP.
Sure. WPP as an organization has been going through a lot of change. Our agencies used to be very siloed, and now we're trying to be more collaborative, open, and client-centric in everything that we do.
And what does that mean when you say the agencies used to be really siloed?
They were very functional, so they're in competition with one another, so competing for business, competing for different ways of working. And now we're trying to really bring the best of our talent across the organization for the best interest of our client.
Wow. So it's not as simple as it's not like 5 people. You're marshalling a lot of different people.
A lot across all countries, all of our agencies, thousands of people.
Wow. And you have to bring those people together to work on behalf of that client.
And empower them to be able to want to do that and give them the tools to enable them to do their work.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it used to be so hard to work, and now we're just making it easier and simpler.
Amazing. Well, before we head to the offices, do you have a favorite spot here at Grand Central Terminal?
Well, the favorite is just being able to walk in here every day on the way to Wunderman Thompson, which is right this way.
Let's head out.
Okay.
So how far have we got to go?
A block and a half, 2 blocks.
From Grand Central Terminal, we made our way to Wunderman Thompson's offices, where we met up with Jamie McClellan, Global CIO for the agency.
Good to see you.
Good to you, Courtney. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. I'm heading to a meeting, but I'm sure I'll see you guys later.
Thanks, great to see you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah.
Take care. Shall we head up?
Definitely. It's good to see you, Jamie. It's been a while.
It has been. You know, a huge amount has changed since you and I caught up last. Since then, WPP has merged Wunderman and Thompson together to create Wunderman Thompson. So our organization has effectively doubled in size, and therefore go-to-market principles have changed tremendously. The way that we team, the way that we network, the way that we collaborate is changing tremendously as well. So big challenges ahead, and we're facing them head on.
You can tell.
Yeah, have a seat.
Thank you. So what were some of the challenges you faced doubling in size overnight?
Well, I think that the biggest challenge was, you know, how do we come together in a unified way? You know, everything from which office are we going to base people out of, all the way through to the tooling and technology that we would have, to department integration and amalgamation. So, you know, a real lot of challenges, and some of the things we tried to do with technology was try to make it as simple for people to understand what the Wunderman Thompson tool set is going to be moving forward and how they can build that into their way of working.
Sometimes people have this perception of, oh no, we all need to sit around the campfire and everybody agrees and you know whatnot. When in reality, it's actually sometimes people's differences and different points of view that can lead to better outcomes. So I'm interested in what the experience has been merging these 2 different companies and different organizations. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I think actually it probably now we've merged the businesses in perhaps a bigger way than we did previously. That cognitive tension or creative tension was probably already there within both agencies. But I think as you bring it together, that diversity of skill set increases because we, you know, not only are we a creative agency, we're a technology company, we're a commerce company, we're a growth business, and all of those things coming together has amplified the points of view, the perspectives, the insights that all need to come in to get to drive to the right outcome. our business process to get to this is actually called collision, right? And one of the things is, now that just signifies that something is going to happen, right? And the reality is we can't get to the right outcome without actually really pushing through and banging off each other.
I'm fascinated by that. So the very process and methodology or the way of your thinking, you're calling it collision, like you're almost explicitly saying like there's going to be a crash here.
Yep. That process and that methodology is a managed process. So it's not that we just don't put a dozen people into a room and say, scrap it out. Although it's called collision and it sounds, aggressive, in reality, it's a managed process. But what we're actually saying to everyone, have a point of view, have a perspective, don't sit back and don't leave the room thinking you haven't had the input you need to have.
And is that where someone like Courtney and her role comes in?
Yeah, I think there's two aspects to this. Courtney and her role are really the big challenge of how do we keep consistency as we go forward, and at the same time provide a mechanism to be highly collaborative as well. So the aspects that the technology that we give and the tools that we give to our people need to support how we co-collaborate, how we co-create, and it's not really necessarily about getting in a physical room anymore.
Now, last time we spoke, as we were finishing up, I asked you, like, what were you excited for? What are you looking forward to? And at that point, you were just deploying Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
It was in trial, I believe. It's been a while. It's been 3 years. Same question.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the time we were, probably an early adopter of a lot of the Office 365 technology. And I think I'll be really honest and say we're still on that adoption curve. There's definitely bits of our business that will have taken a little bit longer to get there, but ultimately we're kind of all in. We've seen the maturity of Teams allow us to do more within that, but at the same time the behaviors in our own organization change to match those two things really well. And that's been really comforting to see. Our challenge is how we then manage and orchestrate it at scale, and how we kind of keep that going within the organization at large. And you'll see, people teaming, people leveraging Surface Hubs to collaborate, etc. And it's comforting to know that the strategic investment we made to kind of lean into Microsoft Office 365 heavily has kind of stood us in good stead. And what's really interesting was as we brought Wunderman Thompson together, we've managed to harmonize that because both businesses were kind of all in. And really what we've tried hard to do is make sure that as well as being all in, we're all in a single tenant, we're all working well together and we're all kind of moving forward. It's been a couple of years since you've been around. We obviously, we're a different business now. We're in the same address. Why don't we walk around and see what it looks like now, and you can get just a sense for how the agency works.
I love that.
Cool. Let me just start to show you some of the things. So we've got like guiding principles. So we're on the south side of the building. There's a couple of things we'll show down here, but ultimately the space is about trying to give our employees the right experience. So we wanted people to have a home to come to. So around the building, everyone, even if they hot desk, are part of a small neighborhood that they connect into, a pod, so to speak. And that helps a lot with a sense of being and a sense of belonging, which we think is critical to them being part of that team. But at the same time, everything is open, as you can see, and therefore people, if they want to have a different experience one day over the other, they can do it as well. The other thing I wanted to point out, again, is just what a bit of the mantras of kind of togetherism, if you like. So that aspect of constantly reminding people that, we're part of a small team, we're part of a big team, and really to contribute in their own way.
Now, a lot of the meeting rooms have a mixture of, more formal space, softer space, screens.
Yep, and that's deliberate. So some are, what you would say is your classic meeting rooms with screens and tables and desks and boardroom style. Other ones are soft seating with no technology in it at all. There are areas where we're saying no tech. You're going to go in there, you're going to dream. And let's do it either without technology. And what was really interesting was once we adopted Surface Hubs, the demand in the non-technology rooms to pull them into the dream sessions became critical. Oh, hang on. I know you met Courtney earlier, but let me introduce you to Christina.
Fantastic.
Hey, Christina. Can I introduce you to Alex?
Hey,
Christina,
how are you?
Alex.
Nice to meet you.
I'll catch you later.
Awesome. See you in a bit.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Bye, Jamie.
Thank you for the time.
Yeah, no problem.
Christina, tell me a little bit about yourself and your role.
Yeah. So I run inclusive design and accessibility at Wunderman Thompson Global. And what that is, we create so many products, so many ads for our clients. How do we make sure it's not ignoring the 20% of people who have disabilities?
That really resonates with one of the themes as it pertains to teamwork, which is this notion of diverse teams, and that diversity can mean gender, it can be people with mixed abilities, it can be racial and ethnic minorities, for example. But when you bring, different groups of people together, you'll get to, better outcomes.
Definitely. I have a physical disability. Both my arms are paralyzed, and I have friends that I work with who are deaf. And because we have technology, we can communicate better. And that if someone had an idea, someone else was able to pick holes at it to make the idea better. So we can really move, at the speed of light.
How does that relate back to the work that you're doing every day based on your account team?
Sure, very similar. I mean, changing mindsets and changing behaviors and all that we do. Most recently, I was in our Wunderman Thompson DC office, working with the team and really trying to understand what is the purpose of their team, who are the people that work on it, what is their daily process and what do they need? So really understanding the needs of any person working in general is where you need to start, and then technologies and tools and enabling them comes after.
So it's interesting, I've heard you say today this notion of employee-centric, you're saying human-centric, and in reality it's sort of the same thing.
Yeah.
People first.
Absolutely. Now, obviously the agency has sort of come together, and so you've brought these different groups of people together. What's next? What are you both sort of working on to improve, teamwork and outcomes for your clients?
We've just begun, I think, right? Now that you have everyone, you're breaking down the silos, I think, from a physical building or maybe a technology structure, but you gotta really figure out how do they need to work, what do they need?
Yeah, asking that question. And I think we're so used to just doing that one way because we're so client focused, and it's taking a step back and asking everyone in the room, how best do you work? Because we really want to invest in, all our new employees to say, hey, how do you do the best work? And what environments are great for you? So really thinking about the complexity of being a human and finding ways to work together.
Well, great to meet you, Christina. Thank you for letting me gate crash the meeting. I think I'm gonna go catch up with Jamie.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
See you, Alex.
It was great to meet Christina and chat with her and Courtney. I loved hearing examples of teamwork in action, as well as the importance and success when you include people of all abilities. Thank you so much for setting up the time with Courtney and Christina. I really enjoyed meeting them.
No, it was my pleasure. And as we'd said when we connected, things have changed so much that I wanted to reintroduce you to Wunderman Thompson and for you to get a sense of the business.
Totally. Well, I mean, it's amazing how much has changed in the last couple of years, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Well, keep coming back to see us. I love everything we do with Microsoft, and hopefully we can do more.
Jamie.
Alex, thanks. You too. Take care. Cheers.
Reflecting on my time with Wunderman Thompson, I left incredibly impressed by how uniform and sincere the focus was on their clients. Courtney showed me how bringing together a team from across agencies has led to a stronger culture and better results. Christina's personal journey and professional success showed the power of including diverse perspectives and abilities. And I couldn't think of a better example of constructive tension than when Jamie shared that one of their core business processes is called collision, true teamwork in action.